They say some cases are better left unsolved, buried deep and forgotten. But what if they refuse to stay buried? Meet Jack, a rookie detective, brilliant, but maybe a little too eager. His first week on the job, exploring the dusty archives of the precinct, he stumbles upon a scorched metal box hidden away. Inside, a stack of case files, charred at the edges, detailing a series of unsolved murders from decades ago. These were the cases they tried to burn to erase from history. As Jack pores over the brittle pages, a chilling realization washes over him. The victims, their black and white photos staring back, are uncannily familiar. Each one is a perfect doppelganger of someone living in his quiet suburban neighborhood today. His friendly mailman, the lady who runs the corner bakery, even his next-door neighbor. He thinks it's a bizarre, unsettling coincidence, a historical curiosity. Until the first body is found, it's the mailman, murdered in the exact same way as his look-alike from the burnt files. The past isn't just echoing, it's replaying itself, note for terrifying note. One by one, the people in his town begin to die, following the same gruesome sequence laid out in the old files. It's a macabre countdown, and Jack is the only one who knows the order. The killer is recreating a bloody history, and the entire town has become their stage. Now, Jack is in a desperate race against a ghost. Is it a copycat killer obsessed with the old cases? Or is something far more sinister at play, a curse woven into the fabric of the town itself? The files were burned for a reason, to hide a truth so terrible it couldn't see the light of day. By unearthing them, Jack didn't just find a cold case, he reignited a fire, and now he has to figure out how to stop history from repeating itself before everyone he knows becomes another page in a killer-esque twisted story. What secret was so dark it was worth setting on fire? Jack's about to find out, and the truth might just burn him too. Thanks for watching, and if you love a good mystery, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. See you next time. The old precinct building was scheduled for demolition, a relic of a bygone era. I was a rookie then, barely a year on the force, tasked with the mundane job of clearing out the archives. Tucked away in a forgotten corner, behind a rusted filing cabinet, I found it, a heavy, singed metal box. It wasn't locked, but the latch was warped by heat. Prying it open, a smell of ash and old paper filled the dusty air. Inside were files, dozens of them, their edges blackened and curled, case files. Unsolved murders from over 50 years ago, all bearing a stamp. Inconclusive, archive and dispose, but it was the victim photos that made the hair on my arms stand up. The first one, a woman named Eleanor Vance, strangled in 1968. She looked exactly like Mrs. Gable from 2 houses down. The same kind eyes, the same distinct mole on her cheek. I flipped to the next file. A man bludgeoned in his garage in '69. He was a dead ringer for old Mr. Henderson, the quiet man who ran the local hardware store. It was impossible. File after file, every victim had a modern-day doppelganger living in my own quiet, suburban neighborhood. My neighbors, my friends. I took the box home, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. This had to be a coincidence, a bizarre trick of the light and faded photography. But my gut screamed otherwise. I decided to start with the first case, Eleanor Vance. I discreetly looked into Mrs. Gable's life. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I told myself I was being paranoid, a rookie seeing ghosts where there were none. Then, 2 days later, the call came in, an elderly woman found in her home. When I arrived at the scene, the sight hit me like a physical blow. It was Mrs. Gable, the cause of death, strangulation. Exactly like Eleanor Vance, 50 years prior. Panic clawed at my throat. I raced back to the burnt files. The second victim, the man who looked like Mr. Henderson, was next in the pile. I had to warn him, had to do something. But how do you tell someone they might be murdered because they look like a ghost from a 50-year-old cold case? I felt like I was losing my mind. The killer from the past was either still out there, or something far more terrifying was happening. The files weren't just a record of the past, they were a schedule. A prophecy of death unfolding right before my eyes. As I drove towards the hardware store, my hands shaking on the steering wheel, I realized I wasn't just investigating cold cases anymore. I was in a race against a timeline that had been set in stone half a century ago, and the victims were dying all over again. The next name in that charred pile was Mr. Henderson, and I could only pray I wasn't already too late. I was the only one who knew what was coming, and the weight of that knowledge was crushing me. This town had a secret, buried in ash, and it was clawing its way back to the surface, one life at a time.